Mushi, and welcome back to another reading of the Book of Mormon. I'm your host, Spiffy Tate, and I just literally went from my living room to my kitchen. Yep. That's all I did. I just grabbed my candle, let it sit there for a bit, ate some lunch, and here we are. So we're literally gonna go right where we last left off here in the Book of Omni. Yep, Omni, man. That's right, that's him. The Book of Omni. Yep. Did I show the Book of Jerome? I don't even remember. I don't even care. Omni. Emaron. Chemish. Chemish? Yeah. Benedom, and Malachi, each in turn. That's a lot of names I don't even recognize. Each in turn keep the record. Mosiah discovers the people of Zarahemla, who come from Jerusalem in the days of Zedekiah. Mosiah is made king over them. The descendants of Mulek at Zarahemla had discovered Corintomer. Totem? Oh, fuck. Why does it have to do this to me? What the hell, where was I? Okay, I'm in the bracket, guys. I think I just found it. It's Coriantimer. Alright. The last of the Jaredites. King Benjamin. Why can't we have names like that? Succeeds the Messiah. Men should offer their souls as an offering to Christ. Whoa. Okay. And the Book of Omni, man, also starts with my favorite word. Behold, it came to pass that Omni, being commanded by my father Jerome, that I should write somewhat upon these plates to preserve our genealogy. Wherefore in my days I would that ye should know that I fought much with the sword to preserve my people, the Nephites, from falling into the hands of their enemies, the Lamanites. But behold, I of myself am a wicked man, and I have not kept the statutes and the commandments of the Lord as I sought to have done. And it came to pass that 276 years had passed away, and we had many seasons of peace, and we had many seasons of serious war and bloodshed. Yea, in fine, 282 years had passed away, and I kept these plates according to the commandments of my fathers, and I conferred them upon my son Amaron, and I make an end. Well, that was fast, and now I, Amaron, write the things whatsoever I write, which are few in the book of my father. Behold, it came to pass that 320 years had passed away, and the more wicked parts of Nephites were destroyed. For the Lord would not suffer after he had led them out of the land of Jerusalem, and kept and preserved them from falling into the hands of their enemies. Yea, he would not suffer that the word should not be verified, which he spake unto our fathers, saying that inasmuch as ye will not keep my commandments, ye shall not prosper in the land. Wherefore the Lord did visit them in great judgment. Nevertheless did he spare the righteous, that they should not perish, but did deliver them out of the hands of their enemies. And it came to pass that I did deliver the plates unto my brother, Shuramish. I know I'm gonna look his name up. I feel like I know I'm saying it wrong, guys. Okay. It's like, oh, Spiffy, that's not a definite. You're saying it wrong. Yeah, you're right. I know I am. Shimish, Kemish, Kemish, like kimchi. I don't know. So then, okay, so I'm just gonna stop for a second. So it's Omni, who is the son of Jerem, and Jerem is the son of Enos, and Enos is the son of Jacob. Okay, I get that. And then we get down to Amram, who is the son of Omni, and now we're giving this to Chemish, who is the brother of Amram. Yep. Okay. Not a son, the brother. Alright. And now I, Chemish, write what few things I write in the same book with my brother, for behold, I saw the last which he wrote, that he wrote it with his own hand. And he wrote it in the day that he delivered them unto me. And after this manner we kept the record for it is according to the commandment of our fathers, and I make an end. Well, then okay. And behold, I, Abinadom, am the son of Chemish. Behold, it came to pass that I saw much war and contention between my people, the Nephites and the Lamanites, and I, with my own sword, had taken the lives of many of the Lamanites in defense of my brethren. And behold, the record of this people is engraven upon these plates, which is had by the king according to the generations. And I know of no revelation, save it that which had been written, neither prophecy. Wherefore, that which is sufficient is written, and I make an end. Behold, I am Amalki, the son of Abedom. Behold, I will speak unto you somewhat concerning Mosiah, who was made king over the land of Zarahemla. For behold, he bringing warned of the land that he should flee out of the land of Nephi. And as many as would hearken unto the voice of the Lord should also depart out of the land with him into the wilderness. And it came to pass that he did according as the Lord had commanded him. And they departed out of the land into the wilderness, as many as would hearken unto the voice of the Lord. And they were led by many preachings and prophesyings, and they were abolished continuously by the word of God, and they were led by the power of his arm through the wilderness until they came into the land which is called the land of Zarahemla. And they discovered a people who were called the people of Zarahemla. Now there were great rejoicing among the people of Zarahemla, and also Zarahemla did rejoice exceedingly, because the Lord has sent the people of Mosiah with the plates of brass, which contain the record of the Jews. Behold, it came to pass that Mosiah discovered the people of Zarahemla came out from Jerusalem at the time of Zedekiah, king of Judah, was carried away captive into Babylon. And they journeyed into the wilderness and were brought by the hand of the Lord across the great waters into the land where Mosiah discovered them. And they had dwelt there from that time forth. And at that time that Mosiah discovered them, they had become exceedingly numerous. Nevertheless, they had twice, as it does say it twice, they had many wars and serious contentions, and had fallen by the sword from time to time. And their language had become corrupted, and they had brought no record with them. And they denied the being of their Creator, and Mosiah, nor the people of Mosiah could understand them. And it came to pass that Mosiah caused that they should be taught in his language. And it came to pass that after they were taught in the language of Mosiah, Zarahemla gave a genealogy of his fathers according to his memory. And they are written, but not in these plates. No, not in these plates. And it came to pass that the people of Zarahemla and of Mosiah did unite together, and Mosiah was appointed to be their king. And it came to pass in the days of Mosiah, there were a large stone brought unto him with engravings on it, and he did interpret the engravings by the gift and power of God. And he gave an account of one Kiratarum, and the slain of his people. I'm going to have to look up that name again. I just don't remember how I said that. Coriantum. Alright, cool. I'm hoping I'm saying this right. And they gave an account of one Coriantum, and they slay his people. And Coriantum was discovered by the people of Zarahemla, and he dwelled with them for the space of 9 moons. And also spake a few words concerning his fathers. And his first parents came out from the tower at the time the Lord confounded the language of the people. And the severity of the Lord fell upon them according to his judgment, which are just. And their bones lay scattered in the land northward. Behold, I, Elamaki, was born in the days of Mosiah, and I have lived to see his death. And Benjamin, his son, reigneth in his stead. And behold, I have seen in the days of the king of Benjamin a serious war, much bloodshed between the Nephites and the Lamanites. But behold, the Nephites did obtain much advantage over them. Yea, in so much that King Benjamin did drive them out of the land of Zarahemla. And it came to pass that I began to be old, and having no seed, and knowing King Benjamin to be a just man before the Lord, wherefore I shall deliver up these plates unto him, exhorting all men to come unto God, the Holy One of Israel, and believing and prophesying, and in revelations, and in the ministering of angels, and in the gift of speaking with tongues, and in the gift of interpreting languages, and all the things which are good. For there is nothing which is good save it comes from the Lord, and that which is evil cometh from the devil. And so, like, every good thought, every good thing you do, it's the Lord. Nothing to do with you personally. It involves the Lord somehow, some way. But in anything bad, it doesn't involve the Lord at all. But it involves the devil somehow, some way. So it's like you never feel accomplished in truly anything, and like you're never held too much responsible for anything because, the devil. Oh, well, it's the Lord that helped guide your hand for that. And now, my beloved brethren, I would that ye should come unto Christ, who is the Holy One of Israel, and partake in his salvation and the power of his redemption. Ye come unto him and offer your whole souls as an offering unto him. That sounds like some devil work right there. But we're just going to keep on reading. And continue in fasting and praying and endure to the end. And as the Lord liveth, ye will be saved. And I will speak somewhat concerning a certain number who went up into the wilderness to return to the land of Nephi. For there was a large number who were desirous to possess the land of their inheritance. Wherefore they went up into the wilderness, and their leader being a strong and mighty man, and a stiff-necked man, wherefore he caused a contention among them, and they were all slain, save 50, in the wilderness. And they returned again to the land of Zarahemla. And it came to pass that they also took others to a considerable number, and they took their journey again into the wilderness. And I, Elmaki, had a brother who also went with them, and I had not since known concerning them. And I am about to lie down in my grave, and these plates are full, and I make an end of my speaking. That is the end of Omni, and I thought it was just going to be Omni, but I guess it's just passing on, they're just passing on the plates. They're just, they write a little bit, and then they pass on the plates. They write a little, and then the son writes a little bit, and then he passes on the plates. So right? So, Omni sends it to Ahriman. And then he sends it to Chemish, which is his brother. Then Chemish sends it to someone else, who is his son. And then his son sent it to his son. And then his son sent it to another son, I believe. And then that guy who didn't have any offsprings gives it to Mosiah. And then I guess Mosiah gives it to someone else, or someone like Mosiah, or gives it to Benjamin. One of the two. Yeah, it's Benjamin. So he gives it to Benjamin. And I guess he will soon eventually give it to someone else as well. Well, that's the end of Omni. That was like 30 verses there. The Words of Mormon are also quite short here. I mean, there's only 18 verses, and after that is the Book of Mosiah, and that has chapters in it, so I'm not going to read that today or anything like that. But here are the Words of Mormon. Now I really try to contemplate the Words of Mormon here. I mean, look, Book of Mormon, Words of Mormon. I mean, right. I mean, I don't know what to think of that, but I mean, I'll really try to hearken onto these words here, the Words of Mormon, since I'm reading the Book of Mormon. Okay. Mormon abridges the large plates of Nephi. This is going to be a small abridgment. He puts the smaller plates with the other plates. King Benjamin establishes peace in the land. This is about 385. What did I say what Omni Man was? I didn't even read his. His was 323 to 130. And did I even read I did read Enos. Did I read Jerome's? I don't even think so. Yeah, it just says 399, 361. Yeah, who cares? But the Words of Mormon. And now I, Mormon, being about to deliver up the record which I have been making into the hands of my son Moroni. Ooh, wait, Moroni? And now I, Mormon, I'm just going to reread that again. And now I, Mormon, being about to deliver up the record which I have been making into the hands of my son Moroni, behold, I had witnessed almost all of the destruction of my people, the Nephites. And it is many hundred years after the coming of Christ that I delivered these records into the hands of my son, and it supposes me that he will witness the entire destruction of my people. But may God grant that he may survive them, that he may write somewhat concerning them, and somewhat concerning Christ, that perhaps someday it may profit them. And now I speak somewhat concerning that which I have written. For after I had made an abridgment from the plates of Nephi down to the reign of the king of Benjamin, of whom Almachi spake, I searched among the records which had been delivered into my hands, and I found these plates, which contain the small records of the prophets from Jacob down to the reign of the king of Benjamin, and also many of the words of Nephi. And the things which are upon these plates pleases me, because of the prophecies of the coming of Christ, and my fathers, knowing that many of them have been fulfilled. Yea, and I also know that as many things as have been prophesied concerning us down to this day have been fulfilled, and as many as go beyond this day must surely come to pass. Wherefore I choose these things to finish my record upon them, which is which remainder of my record I shall take from the plates of Nephi. And I cannot write the 100th part of the things of my people, but behold, I shall take these plates which contain these prophesyings and revelations and put them with the remainder of my record, for they are choice unto me, and I know they will be a choice unto my brethren. And I do this for a wise purpose, for thus it whispereth me according to the working of the Spirit of the Lord which is in me. And now I do not know all things, but the Lord knoweth all things which are to come. Wherefore he worketh in me to do according to his will. And my prayer to God is concerning my brethren, that they may once again come to the knowledge of God, yea, to the redemption of Christ, that they may once again be a delightsome people. And now I, Mormon, proceed to finish out my record, which I take from the plates of Nephi. And I make it according to the knowledge and the understanding which God has given me. Wherefore it came to pass that after Al-Maki had delivered up these plates into the hand of King Benjamin, he take them and put them with the other plates, which contained the records which had been handed down by the kings from generation to generation unto the days of King Benjamin. And they were handed down from King Benjamin from generation to generation until they had fallen into my hands. And I, Mormon, pray to God that they may be preserved from this time henceforth. And I know that they will be preserved, for there are great things written upon them, out of which my people and their brethren shall be judged at the great and last day, according to the word of God which is written. And now concerning this King Benjamin, he had somewhat of contention among his own people. And it came to pass also that the armies of the Lamanites came down to the land of Nephi to battle against his people. But behold, King Benjamin gathered together his armies, and he did stand against them, and he did fight them with the strength of his own arm, and with the sword of Laban. And in the strength of the Lord they did contend against their enemies, until they had slain many thousands of Lamanites. And it came to pass that they did contend against the Lamanites until they had driven them out of the land of their inheritance. And it came to pass that after there had been false Christ, and their mouths had been shut, and they're punished according to their crimes, and after there had been false prophets and false preachers and false teachers, preachers and teachers among the people, and all these things having been punished according to their crimes, and after there had been much contention and much dissension away unto the Lamanites, behold, it came to pass that King Benjamin, with the assistance of the holy prophet who were among his people, for behold, King Benjamin was a holy man, and he did reign over his people in righteousness. And there were many holy men in the land, and they did speak the word of God with the power and with authority. And they did so much sharpness because of the stiff-neckedness of the people. Wherefore, with the help of these King Benjamin, by laboring with all their might of his soul, of his body, and false faculty of his whole soul, then the faculty of his whole soul, and also the prophet did once more establish peace to the land, or in the land, you know what I meant to say. He established peace in the land. Beautiful. Now, what to say about the Words of Mormon, and possibly the Book of Omni. Well, I was already talking about the Book of Mormon, the Words of Mormon. Now, I just like how the Book of Omni, whatever, right? Like, we're having each person take the place, you know. We know who's holding the place. We know who has the place. You know, it went from Lehi to Nephi. Then it went from Nephi, you know, to Jacob, right? And then went from Jacob to his son Enos. Okay, so yeah, that's crazy. And then Enos gives it to his son, Jerom. Jerom gives it to his son, Omni. Omni gives it to his son, and then I don't have to look at all their names because I'm not gonna remember their names by heart. Omni then gives it to his son Aram, and then it's like it's just like but the because the son to Aramon, and then brother Chemish, and then his son Abedom, and then his son Almaki, and then he doesn't even have a for whatever reason doesn't have any kings or seeds somehow. And then he gives it to Benjamin here. But the Words of Mormon, he just says from Benjamin there on that he just passes it on from generation to generation. There's no mention of names or whatever. I mean, it's not like I expected to be a whole Genian line up to Mormon or Moroni. But yeah, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like, oh yeah, we don't know. I guess it just stayed in the kingdom, I guess. I don't know, maybe under lock and key, maybe? Who knows? I just find it kind of odd that it just randomly throws in there about how there's been false Christ. Like, it just comes out of nowhere. I don't know. I feel like it comes out of nowhere. Because we were just talking about... I don't know. Because I'm reading it here. Yeah, because it's talking about their enemies and how they slain their enemies. And then it came to pass that after there had been false Christ, and their mouths had been shut, and they're punished according to their crimes, and then there have been false prophets, false preachers, and teachers among the people. You know, I can understand, like, false preachers, teachers, prophets, all that, and false Christ. How do you I don't know, what I'm trying to say is, like, what is a false Christ? People claiming to be Christ? Like, and how can they do that? Like, are they, like, doing, like, some voodoo magic with the devil's work or something? Like, I don't know. Oh, well, at least Benjamin, gets the peace back in the land once more. He wasn't dealing with that shit. He's like, you know what? We had peace. Y'all want to bring all this shit back here? Fuck y'all. We'll slaughter you. And we're gonna bring back peace, damn it. You wanna bring all this shit onto us? We're gonna bring back the peace. And I guess he does, so I can give it to him for that. Man, they just don't say much, so and he has the least amount of verses, it seems like. Does he? I feel like he does. Let's see, I'm gonna test it here. Jerem. Oh, no, he doesn't. Jerome has 15. Jerome is the lowest one, actually. Shit. But he's saying this is after Christ has came. But from what I'm assuming, Christ hasn't came yet. So, like, I know Mormon is probably way up in the future there, but why is his words, like, so up in the book? I just don't understand. Like, have we got to the point where, because we haven't heard of any of his ministries onto the ancient people yet. So I assume Christ has not came yet. But, like, the Words of Mormon make it seem like he already came. Right, like he claims this. He claims that he already done came in his words, and he's passing the plates down to Moroni, and I know Moroni buries the plates. So I know that would have to happen after Christ. So I'm assuming that the Words of Mormon is a bit more in the future here than when it's being placed here in the book, but I'm only taking guesses here. I really don't know. But, I don't know. Well, that was the Words of Mormon. I didn't think his words were that bad, honestly. They were pretty good. And if you're wondering what my candle is, it's Raining Lilies. Ooh, it smells really nice, I'm not gonna lie. I don't use this one quite often. I usually use it when I'm in the shower or something like that. I like some candles. I like to have my house smelling a bit nice, you know. I had a candle lit when I was doing my other reading in the living room. You just didn't see it because it was out of the camera view, but I just didn't know what to put on to the side here, so I just got a candle. Well, hope y'all enjoyed this video. This is Big Potato signing off. Bye-bye. I was hit with wax. Ugh.